Hi everyone, this is Elizabeth at craftsbyhappystamper.com. Thanks for joining me today for the One Stamp at a Time Christmas in July blog hop. Today I'm featuring this card using the Made with Love deer. Isn't she so cute? And the Wondrous Wreath stamp set. So let's just get started. So first I needed real red cardstock, and this cardstock is cut at 4 3/8 by 5 3/8. And all of the dimensions will be written up in my blog post. So if you just click the link in the description, you'll get all of the dimensions. I'm also using the square framelits. I'm creating sort of like a Polaroid picture frame type setup here. And the front is going to be real red, and the back is going to be the basic gray cardstock. So I'm cutting just two rectangles of the exact same. And then I'm going to use some post-it tape to put my square framelit in the center and cut them both at the exact same time so that I know that they line up perfectly. And I'm actually flipping them over so that the cut edges are on the opposite sides. So I'm going to use window sheet in the middle. So now I'm cutting a window sheet, and this window sheet is at 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So it's a square. And I'm cutting two pieces, one for the front and one for the back. And when I first started making this card, I thought I was going to want to stamp on both pieces of acetate. But later when I'm putting it together, I decided I didn't like that, so I used stamping on just one piece. So I'm using this Dots for Days stamp set. It's new in the 2015-2016 annual catalog, and some white StazOn ink. And I start to ink it up and realize I need to add ink. That's why this ink pad comes with a re-inker, is because you often need to re-ink it. So I am stamping just a bunch of StazOn, just enough to fill a square, and I'm putting my window sheet on that. And at first I decided I was just using my fingers, but then I decided I wanted something a little more substantial to get a good imprint. So I'm just using some scrap computer paper to push down solidly. And then I'm picking up the window sheet. So at first I thought I wanted the Dots for Days stamping on both sheets. So that's what I'm doing now, is the second sheet. And this is supposed to give sort of the illusion of snow, although I would probably prefer if the dots weren't as close together, but this is what we've got, so this is what I'm using. So I'm just finishing the second piece now. And make sure you always close your StazOn stamp pads as securely as possible, because they evaporate very quickly. So you can see that's the second piece. It looks really nice like that, doesn't it? Custom acetate stamping overlays, aren't they great? So now I'm using some real red ink, and I'm using the new Brushstrokes background ink pad, and I'm just inking it up all over so that I can put my real red card front on it. And at first I thought I didn't need to ink up the whole thing, but I decided I needed to ink up the whole thing so that I could tilt my card front just a little bit while I'm inking it up. And this, I'm just doing a tone on tone to give the front a little bit more, something something, whatever you want to call it. Give it a little more pizzazz. So I ink up the whole thing, and I did some slanted brush strokes on it. And you could see when I pick it up that it looks really nice. So then, while that's drying, I'm going to actually stamp the back. And on the back, I want to just do a very simple to from. And this comes from the Wondrous Wreath stamp set that was carried over from the last holiday catalog into the new annual catalog. And it's nice that it comes all in one stamp, so you don't have to worry about lining up the to and from correctly. But I'm just stamping this with the white StazOn ink that I've been using for the rest of the project. And I think it looks perfectly. So now that can dry while I work on the front of the card. So because I want to heat emboss the front of the card, and I put real red ink on it already, I wanted to make sure I got lots of that powder on there. So I don't want the embossing powder to stick to everywhere else, just for where my stamped image is, which says Happy Wonderful Christmas. So I did rub it really well with the embossing buddy, but you could see here when I add my Whisper White embossing powder, it sticks to all the real red ink. So much for that. So obviously it wasn't completely dry, even though I thought it was. There was no way to clean that up. So I had to make another one, and this time I heat set it before I embossed it, but you could see it worked really well once I heat set it. So now I'm trying to make some snow-covered hills, and I'm using some of the Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper, just using a 2-inch circle punch and cutting out little small hills that I'm going to use for the inside of it. And I don't know why my camera keeps going in and out of focus there, but it does for some reason. So now I'm attaching the acetate or the window sheets that I stamped on to the card bases, the front and the back. So first I attached it to the front piece using 4 pieces. This is 1/16 inch score tape, but you can use any strong adhesive that you have. The reason why I'm using 1/16 inch and not the traditional 1/4 inch is because I just didn't cut my acetate big enough for that to make sure that it covered all sides. So first I put this on, and I didn't really press it very hard. I just kind of tapped it on there, which ends up being a good thing later because I decided I didn't like it on the front. But I also am doing the exact same thing for the back here. And I am trying to stay relatively close to the cutout square because my acetate piece is relatively small. I only made it a 1/2 inch bigger than the opening, so a 1/4 inch I guess on each side, which I guess would make it theoretically fit 1/4 inch tape, but I didn't want to press my luck there. So now I'm taking my second piece of acetate and putting it on the back. You can see there. So now that I have that, I can figure out where I want my little snow-covered hills to go, because I want them to show through the window, but I don't want them to actually, the bottom of the hill to actually be shown. So I have to make sure that that's low enough. And I'm just using more score tape in order to secure this. And you do need pretty strong adhesive, but I'm only putting it on the very base of the hill so that I can stick the reindeer above it. And right now I'm noticing that when I put the reindeer there, that wow, all those dots in the front really obscures that reindeer a lot. So I decided to take off the window sheet, and luckily I didn't really push down very hard. It does rip the paper a little bit, but you can't tell because that side's going to be held. It's going to be covered on the back, but I just put a clear piece on the front instead. And I used a glue dot to put my cute little reindeer from the Made with Love set down there. And if you want to see how I colored that, the other video that I am posting today with my project for the Christmas in July blog hop shows another reindeer that I colored the exact same way, so you can look there to see the details on how I colored that. But now I'm just using some strong adhesive to seal the front to the back, and you want to make sure that you line it up exactly right because we cut both pieces exactly the same. And since we cut the windows at the exact same time, they should line up perfectly when you seal the windows. The good thing about this tear adhesive is it comes off way easier than the red sticky strip tape used to come off that we used to have to sell. So all of these things are currently available in the annual catalog, and I think it looks really cute. I did use a little bit of shimmer on the reindeer's bow tie, and I used some Uniball gel pen to give him accentuate her dots a little, I guess. I don't know if it's girl or boy, but it's a cute little reindeer that I used with the Made with Love set. So thanks for joining me. You can please feel free to click on the link in the description box in order to follow along on the rest of the One Stamp at a Time Christmas in July blog hop, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.